Yo, 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 we should be live. Yo, what is up, YouTube? Your boy Dan is back. Let me make sure I'm live. But your boy's Dan is back at it again with another stream. We're back with crypto and the opinionated penguin number 20 fucking 7. Yes, sir, like that. About to hit 28, which is basically the month of February, which is basically a full month. And that is fucking lit. And we like that. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, ski. And everything's fucking chill as fuck. We had a fantastic 4th of July, many fireworks, many powwow. Bitcoin crashing. Bitcoin's currently at 3,400. So the use. We're still in our range, but I'll get into that. I'll get into that in a second. I got some content to go over. What else? What else? What else? Yeah, I'm gonna talk some lower some time for some higher. Let me pull this up on the weekly. All right, bet. Yeah, so some chill shit. I hope everybody is doing fantastic today. Personally, I think today's gonna be a slower stream. I don't really have too much to talk about. I have the charts, UK regulation, but it's not like an insane amount of content. It's gonna actually run through pretty fast. Yeah, longest part's gonna be charts. It's probably gonna be 15 minutes, and then I don't really have new coins. All my DCA portfolio is gonna remain with some of my current coin picks. What else? What else? What else? What else? Yeah, overall just being chilling. So yeah, let's get into the charts. Let me just pull this up. All right, there we go. I need that to load in. Now that that's loaded in, I can begin. Yes, sir. I'll start off with the chart. So here we still have the weekly chart for Bitcoin. The pivot on the stochastic is 29,350. So as long as we're above that pivot, everything is still okay, which we are. We're still within this range at the end of the day. So we're just kind of going sideways on the weekly. Volatility is still super low, but we are above the pivot, so weekly is still solid. Volatility on the 5-day is expanding. Our pivot is 25,430, so we are well above that pivot. It is not even close. We basically just have to remain above it, and we just have to continue going up. Eventually, when we break out, we're gonna break out. But for the time being, we're just kind of going sideways. We're taking our time, so it's just a pretty chill moment. Markets aren't really doing anything in particular, but we're getting ready, in my opinion, for the next big move. Whether it's up or down, we're gonna find out. Today we are seeing volatility about to turn down with not this close but next close if we do just go sideways for another close, as well as our pivot point is 30,550, which we are currently below, as well as Joule is starting to turn down, although it is turning down in a control zone. So above 76 is my personal control zone for the Joule. I should honestly put some custom settings on the indicator, so just marking out with my own lines. But usually once above that, even if we start going down, we tend to like get a second retest higher. So here we started pulling back on the Joule. So back here on the Joule, we did have this pullback in this bullish control zone, and then we went sideways, and eventually we broke up for one last final move. So something similar could happen here. Now, do I think that's in play right now? I'm not too sure. But overall, it looks sideways. 2-day looks very sideways. Daily volatility has contracted all the way, so now we're waiting for volatility expansion. The problem with the daily is our pivot point is 31,090, which is a very high pivot. So we basically got to get above that. So on expansion upwards, that is bullish, but for now we are pointed downwards, so it's a bearish sign, as well as we are forming a drive of bearish divergence, which is a trend reversal pattern. Meaning, if we do start the trend reverse here, this could end up being a daily top. This is an indication that we could be putting a top here, and that is not a good sign. That's not what we want to do. But I mean, only time will tell, I guess. But this is a very bearish scenario to be in overall for Bitcoin. So just not a good sign on price action right now on the daily. Low volatility plus hit bearish divergence plus stochastic pointing down. It's just a very bad combination overall. And Joule basically had its so with the way Joule works is usually the first time when you short it with Joule, usually the first pullback, especially in the bullish control zone, isn't the top, but the next time it turns white, so the next time it turns white is here, is the confirmation time to go short. And especially if it's a what's it called? If it's a divergence, so if Joule goes down while price goes up, this is a divergence, just like a hidden bearish divergence here with RSI, or not hidden bearish, just like a bearish divergence with RSI, and that is a very bearish sign. meaning that we could pull back further. My targets overall are EMA 55 at the least. So that is 28.5. I really don't want Bitcoin to break below 29.5, but I'll get into why I do think we do have a lot of potential to get that low. So I am leaning more bearish right now. We should have broken up. I mean, I've been talking about Tuesday, yesterday. We need to break up then, and we didn't. We rejected. And I think that is a very bearish sign overall in the charts, and I'll get into it more on the lower term time frame. So the 12-hour volatility super low. As long as we're below 3,700, we are pointed downwards. Same thing with Jewel. Jewel has turned downwards, although it's not in the ripe zone, but it is a bearish divergence again, where it turned down up here, and then it turned back up, and now it's turning back down there while price increased. So the same divergence on the daily, we have it on the 12-hour. On the daily, we have it on the 12-hour, and that is not a good sign for Bitcoin. Now, as long as we're above 29.5 on the 12-hour, we are still fine. And on the 4-hour, as long as we're above it on the 4-hour, we're still fine. But if we do get below this level, then things get dicey. I do think we end up retesting the level based on some VLO data statistics, which I'll get into. But yeah, right now the 12-hour and the daily look quite bearish. 2-day looks rangy, so potentially just be pulled back down. And then weekly and 5-day still look bullish. So that's like my general analysis on things. Let's go to the really short-term time frames. So let's go to the 4-hour first. 4-hour, obviously we're still in this range. We rejected off the top side over here. 4 hours, as long as we're below 3,800, we're pointed downwards as well as Jewel. But if we do get this Jewel signal where Jewel is below 35 and we get a long signal here, that is a good sign for the 12-hour, as well as PMA RP is quite low. What is that? 16 right now. So we are close to a TP zone, which is 15. So we literally drop the next move down could potentially be the last move down based on PMA RP also. Although that's not really a good way to look at it, but it is a place to take profits on a short. So I do consider that we are more likely to be towards the bottom of this move, more towards the bottom overall. On the 1 hour, we are showing bottom signs, but we could have. Remember how I said that on the short side where we get that bearish divergence, or we get that bearish divergence. Here we could get bullish divergence where we pull back here, but while we pull back here on Jewel ends up going up a little bit and then turns back down. All right, wait, let me draw it out. So what could end up happening is Jewel comes like this and like this, where we get this drive of bullish divergence, and then meanwhile on price we make a lower low, so we get to 32 or 30 or whatever, and then we start pulling up. So I think that is the most likely scenario at this point, where we do make that drive, and then we end up probably retesting 3,200. Now, depending on VLO data, depending on how many people are long and short, will change how I play this out personally. Also, this is a kind of a pretty good zone. Currently not any longs. I close them all at the top pretty much. Here, a little bit earlier, 31, right here on this candle, because I was unsure. But yeah, so I was unsure, and we ended up going a little higher. That's it. But give me a second. Anyways, what am I saying? I think 1 hour does have potential to go lower still, even though we are above our pivot of 3,200. I do think this is still a bearish pattern, and we have lower to go before we go up again on the 1 hour. And the 4 hour I think has one more drive also. 15-minute. I should have been looking for a short here. But I won't personally, because that's too aggressive for me of a short. I'll be looking for a short between 67 and 76 here. So we need to go all the way up to 3,600. We didn't. But right now we're bouncing a little bit with the stock market. Stock market bounced pretty hard, actually pretty nastily, while Bitcoin continued to dump. So just not a good sign with Bitcoin if Bitcoin dumps while stock market pumps. But that's how it be. And so that is my analysis on the crypto coins, on the Bitcoin at least. Let's go to the VLO data really quickly. So the reason why I've been bearish on VLO, and the reason why I was bearish at the top here when we pumped, so when we pumped here and pumped here, and the reason why I was bearish is because if we look at funding did not go down. So usually in a pump, if we're going to break out during a range, what tends to happen is, let me reset this. What tends to happen is we tend to see negative funding. So right before we get like an insane breakout, funding just turns negative right before the insane breakout. Right before the insane breakout here, funding is negative. Funding is negative. Even though funding does become pretty high here, it goes negative right before we start bussy A-ing up. It like goes down extremely. Here was negative at the bottom, and then we ended up, even though it went positive, it ended up being the bottom. We need negative funding to mark that move. The problem with this move up is that we never got negative funding once. We saw funding go down here, which is a good sign, and we did get this second move up, which was a very good sign, but we ended up not holding well into it through the breakout. It was like once we got to the top, then we started pulling back, as well as funding has like spiked insanely on this pullback. That was like your confirmation where you probably have that jewel signal down, plus funding is just super high, so we're definitely not going to break out here. So that was your confirmation. And then during this whole grind down, this whole downtrend, funding not once reverted down from like from this level, like 0.001, let's say. It did not go below it once. Meanwhile, here during like back here where we were bearish, but I was really bullish in this area was because we were seeing funding come down. So even though we did get this capitulation move, funding was getting to negatives, meaning people were bearish here, and that is a very very good sign. So my issue with and same thing here, funding did go down significantly here into this capitulation dump, which is another reason I was bullish here. This is why I longed the shit out of this. Here we're not seeing funding really come down yet. We are seeing it slowly start to potentially come down, but it only went up into this whole consolidation here. It only went up. Maybe more people were short. So I do think funding needs to come down a lot more. We need to see it go down a lot more steeply before we can start being like, all right, I'm going to start taking these longs. And until that happens, I think we go lower. So right now, like currently, are we going to break 3,200 potentially? But what I'm looking for is 29.9 again. I'm like looking for another breakdown for everybody to like freak out about for us to start taking longs, as well as 29.5. Until we get that negative funding, these are all levels that we can get to very easily. Until we, not even negative funding, until funding doesn't go below 0.07. Like funding has literally not been below 0.07 since literally back here, this bottom. So until we can get like below like that level, I really do not see a bullish scenario. But once we do, I will be looking along whatever level we stop at. So that's personally how I'm looking to trade this. And I'm looking for longs, potentially down here. Or I'm looking for a short. If we end up pushing up to like 35, I will definitely take a short. And funding remains high. Funding doesn't start to like go down again below this 0.001, 0.007 level. If we don't get below those levels, and we pumped like 35, I'm looking for a short there as well. So that's personally how I'm looking to trade it. That's my personal analysis, as well as Wednesdays tend to be a red day, I guess. So, I mean, Tuesdays tend to be a green day, but yesterday's Tuesday was not. So I don't know how much I'll be using this more, but this is just an interesting trend. If we do end up pumping, we end up pumping towards the end of the next few hours, so like the lunch of the stock market, and then we dump towards the dinner. Does that make sense? Or not the dinner, like the close. So I will be waiting for a pump still, because stock market is obviously pumping, and if whenever we get that pump, I will be looking to take a short. So that's personally how I'm playing it. Now, daily forming three drives of bearish divergence alongside low volatility reads, likely lower to go. I agree. So here he has the HPDR, which is a different indicator. And actually, wait, let me try this. Let me restart this. So for the content, think of the clips. You gotta get the clicks up. You gotta get the clicks up insanely. Eric Krown, daily forming 3 drives. All right, wait, let me not rape the fuck out of the mic. My fault, chief. My fault, yours. All right, yeah. Let's fucking run this shit. Eric Krown, daily forming 3 drives of bearish divergence alongside low volatility reads, likely lower to go. Now, what does this mean? Basically, as you can see here, we do have 3 drives of bearish divergence, okay? As well as HPDR is at lows. So HPDR is volatility. So we're seeing volatility at lows, plus we're seeing 3 drives of bearish divergence, plus we're seeing a drive of bearish divergence on the jewel. Now, you put all those together, and what does that mean? It means we are likely to go lower, like I said earlier. And I mean, this is the same analysis that I had, just with some different indicators, with like the full-on jewel plus like the HPDR volatility. So just some interesting ways to look at it. But same exact analysis. I do think we are more likely to go down. Hopefully we hold 29.5, but this is a bearish setup. This is a very, very bearish setup. Pentoshi. All right, wait, actually, let's move this back to here. All right. Cointelegraph. Bitcoin traders are ready to buy the dip as Bitcoin inches towards 30K. Cointelegraph were also like, the latest episode of the market report with Cointelegraph is out. Is this the start of the next bull run? So as soon as you see these very, very bullish news articles, this tends to be a very bearish signal. I had my dad come up to me and he was like, "Yo, so I was reading this article and said Bitcoin's about to go to $80,000. This is literally yesterday." And I was like, "Where did you read that?" And like seeing articles like that make me want to sell. And the reason why is because as soon as all the normal people get bullish and start buying in and piling in, they're usually wrong. They're usually buying the tops. They're never buying the bombs. They're always buying the tops. And as soon as they buy the tops, that really doesn't end well for anyone. It ends up very, very badly, in fact. And so what you got to do instead of you gotta be opposite of them. You go opposite the norms. You go opposite the news articles. As soon as the news articles are saying, "Oh, Bitcoin's going to 32, Bitcoin's going to 35," so you start saying that, start selling. And I mentioned this because I was reading articles the past few days that were having bullish signals. But for me, I thought personally that we're going through a little bit of a retail cycle. Retail are coming in, and we're gonna pump, and then they're gonna get absolutely wrecked because people are gonna have even higher targets. Right now, it feels like that we're not even gonna get that retail cycle. So I got too bullish. Loomdart had this thesis, and I agreed with it. I thought it was gonna play out, which is why I wasn't looking at funding too much last 2 days, and I ended up being wrong. And I'm willing to admit that I was wrong. I made a mistake, and the reason why is because I thought retail were gonna come in and they were gonna buy our bags, and we're gonna pump a little bit towards the end. That's it. But the way things are feeling right now is retail already buying stuff and they're going to get absolutely wrecked. And so I'm personally really, really cautious right now. If we close a daily below 29.5, I am fully exited out of any of my spot positions. I am sitting in stables. That's just your heads up. But like with these news articles, it is a not a good sign to hear that, oh, we should buy the dip. Bitcoin going towards 35K, 40K, 50K, etc., etc. Seeing those signs is not a good thing. I was really bullish when nobody was bullish. Now it's really hard for me to be bullish because I'm seeing a lot of more people be bullish. And so I am worried we are near a top and we are going to get a little bit of a crash. Now, I don't know if it's going to happen yet. We do need to close a daily below 29.5, but if that as soon as that does happen, I am fully cutting everything. I am uber beara, and that is it for me. That is the bottom of my line. Pentoshi, my to buy list for alts this cycle is very small, and this is for a few reasons. 90% of alts will not see their all time highs versus Bitcoin or ETH. Most winners of the next cycle haven't been born yet, but there are a couple that I believe will be big winners of the next cycle. Now, I agree with this, and I disagree with this a little bit. We are seeing a lot of innovation in this bear market. We are seeing LSDeFi. We are seeing gambling, and I think those two narratives are very, very big right now, as well as you're seeing like a lot of these alternative chains with their own coding languages, stuff like that. And so I do think there is a lot of potential already in coins to buy. The worry is if we do get a crash here, then potentially you could get way better valuations to buy that, especially if Bitcoin dominance continues to go up. And so I do agree he's right. I do think you'll have a better opportunity to buy, but also I do think there are a lot of alts right now that do have a lot of potential. Something I do want to look at also really quickly is Bitcoin dominance. Now that I think about it, that is another reason to be bearish. Bitcoin dominance has been going down. So another reason to be bearish is because Bitcoin dominance has been going down. Usually when Bitcoin pumps and Bitcoin dominance continues to go up, it is a bullish sign. Bitcoin continues up because liquidity is going to Bitcoin. But when Bitcoin's at a resistant level and it's trying to break out, but you see Bitcoin dominance drop, it means more people are speculating on altcoins. And that tends to be a very, very bad signal. Especially here where, let's look at the daily, we're seeing Bitcoin slowly grind up over the last like 10 days. Meanwhile, we're seeing Bitcoin dominance slowly grind down the last 10 days. And that is not a good sign. We want to see Bitcoin dominance continue to go up. We want to see alts get wrecked in order for Bitcoin to rise the tide a rising tide raises all ships. You want it to raise the tide for all altcoins. And unfortunately, you're not seeing that happen right now because you are seeing a lot of these altcoins pump because people are being absolute degenerates, and that is another reason just be bearish for the short term until we do get a pullback and Bitcoin dominance can start to trend again. And until Bitcoin dominance starts to trend again, I do find it hard to be super bullish. But as soon as it breaks back to 52, I will be the most bullish person alive. So there you go. That's my Bitcoin dominance that I want to talk about really quickly. Now, for all right, let me reset the thing. Let me get a sip of water and reset that thing. Been speaking a lot today. Been speaking about the charts for literally 25 minutes. Shit gonna fucking fix. All right, I'll fix it really quickly. Camera, deactivate, activate. There we go. Now, let's continue. Just in, $9 trillion asset manager BlackRock names Coinbase as SSA counterpart in updated spot Bitcoin ETF filing, as well as crypto asset manager Valkyrie files for spot Bitcoin ETF, naming Coinbase as SSA counterpart. So basically what we're seeing a lot of these asset managers dude, what the fuck is this? Sorry, this shit's like fuck with me. So what we're seeing a lot of these asset managers file for spot Bitcoin ETFs, and they're all using Coinbase, as I've been saying, as their SSA counterpart, meaning Coinbase will be holding their assets, and that's very bullish coin stock, and is a very good sign for the TradFi because it means they'll be using something that's crypto native instead of trying to host their things themselves. And so I think this is actually a pretty good thing for crypto, for Coinbase to take up that role in American markets. 1inch team dumped approximately 11,000 ETH an hour ago. Hopefully they are worse traders than the Ethereum Foundation. In case you didn't know, the Ethereum Foundation tends to sell tops, and they tend to be pretty accurate. They're not 100% right with it, but there tends to be a number of times where they sell the top pretty accurately. So that's just like they have a pretty decent hit rate. Now, 1inch just dumped 11,000 Ethereum tokens, which is approximately $200 million, which is an insane amount. Or no, it's not 200. It's 20. It's $20 million, I believe, actually. Let me do the math. Times 11. Oh, okay, yeah, it's $20 million. So the 1inch team dumped approximately $20 million worth, which is a lot of money. Now, hopefully, they are worse traders than the Ethereum Foundation, and they aren't the top. They aren't a top signal, but there is a potential that they are, and they probably are pretty decent at timing the market. Especially this is just in general a pretty good take profit zone, and I do know that I don't know. Especially since this is a pretty good take profit zone, so hopefully this isn't the top, but this is another indication that we could see the top right in at this point. Now, did not expect to write this. Harry Styles just onboarded 5,000 fans to crypto wallets. So during a show at Slane Castle, fans could access a digital wallet via EVNTZ and co-create using Polygon. 5K opted in. It doesn't look like it does much yet, but it promises future rewards for engaging in the community. Very, very interesting. You are seeing Polygon make even more plays into normies and getting them to get crypto wallets, even if it's indirectly. So that's a very good sign for crypto and adoption. The DBS Bank is launching a new digital Yuan solution for its customers in mainland China. So again, you're seeing more movement to a fully digital Yuan, a CBDC within China, and shows how much control China do want over their currency and over their people, especially if they control their finances. And so this is the reality I want to stay away from. I want the U.S. to stay away from, but it is very scary seeing China already having even more of these solutions and allowing mainland businesses to operate in the CBDC. All right, now we got a bunch of UK news. We got a ton of UK news. Yo, this shit's exhausting. Talking for hours is fucking exhausting. Y'all don't even know. I don't even know. Anyways. Yodi family. Alright, so the HSBC will become the first British bank to test an advanced data security system, quantum key disruption, that could help protect trillions of dollars of transactions from hackers. So that this is more just a UK banking, so they're trying to protect their users' assets, which is a good sign. They're trying to protect it from quantum computing, which has a lot of potential in the future. Now, the UK also warns crypto companies to fall in line with strict advertising rules. No, this has to do with the fact that the UK wants to fully regulate crypto and integrate it with their financial systems. So right now they're doing a bunch of UK financial regulation. Oh, does cryptocurrency lending fall under existing UK financial collateral regulation, or should they create new laws? They're like trying to figure things out. UK lords passed a bill to help seize and freeze crypto used for crime. So here's more places where they're getting into crypto. Crypto companies have until October 8th to comply with requirements for marketing their products and services to UK users. So they have certain marketing regulations, like legal regulations. I would assume it's nothing different to any investment type marketing regulations. So just again, more UK. Now, the Reserve Bank of India is in talks with global central banks for cross-border e-rupee CBDC payments. So what does this mean? It means that the Indian government is testing out CBDC payments. This is more for cross-border, but it is worrisome if they try to start enacting on your freedom and trying to limit your privacy. So this is something to be aware of. I'm not like super worried about I think a CBDC as a cross-border, as a something that allows for fuck as something that's for international payments, I think that is fine. But when it comes to day-to-day life, I am worried about a CBDC. So yo, I'm actually tired. It's more because this light, bro. This light fucking puts me to sleep. It's like, so I have a light and fucking like the sun literally puts me to sleep. I'm in the sun. This shit's like the sun. I need to lower it, to be honest. Let me lower it really quick because this shit is fucking making me tweak. I was testing out it being brighter, but I can't. I literally can't. Alright, that is a little bit better. I don't know. Like, look, you like, I don't know. Hang around with it. That's a little bit better. Alright. New federal judge rules Biden administration likely trampled on free speech, orders federal agencies to refrain from pressuring social media companies on censorship during the trial. So basically, the federal judge blocks Biden administration from contacting social media and for companies to censor information. So basically, they're putting a halt to Biden's administration's attempt to engage with social media companies. So, I mean, look, the Biden administration clearly are doing a lot of influencing on the social media, a lot of influencing, a lot of censorship. And it is a very good sign that the Supreme Court is calling them out on their bullshit and their shitty fucking propaganda moves and are telling them to stop. I think that's a very good sign for freedom of speech in America, and hopefully this continues on. I am very, very happy with this. All right, so let's get into the market watch a little bit. So let's take a look how Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin's down 2%. Everything else is also red. Everything else is red. That is a very good sign. I want to see everything being slightly more red than Bitcoin. So what is everything slightly red, and then Bitcoin here is one of the least red things, and everything just gets more and more red. That is a very good sign for me in the markets. I do want to see that. On the weekly, you still have things that are quite up, but you are starting to see things pull down on the weekly. Actually, nothing is sailing down the weekly, so I do want this to continue. Let's get wrecked. My fault. On the week, I do want things to come down more on the weekly, so I don't want to see where alts get wrecked about like 30% across the board, where everything gets like absolutely slammed. That would be fantastic for Bitcoin price, and then it would be fantastic for alts because then the alts will pump like insanely. So that's what I personally want to happen with the markets. Let's look at my watch list also. All right, so my watch list again, everything's red. You have slightly green on the weekly. Things are super green. I do want this to get at least to like 0 on my microcaps. I don't want my microcaps to really dump insanely, but I do want them to get to 0, so that it is a little bit of a reset versus Bitcoin. All right, very nice. Let's get into some altcoin news. Is Uniswap V4 the spot deck's final boss? Will it kill these new deck's innovations? Curve's new Crypto contracts, Ambient Finance, Osmosis upgrades, Duality's launch, Velodrome V2. Purple Pilum dives into where Uniswap V4 stands among the competition. Now I'll just go into and explain it myself. Basically, Uniswap V4 allows you to control the liquidity of your pool and how it operates. For example, you can set up sell walls on a stablecoin at literally $1, so it's true stable one-to-one trading. And I do think this has a ton of potential, and I do think that this does make Curve, Ambient, Osmosis, Duality, and Velodrome, it makes all of them significantly less useful, as well as now they're reducing the gas cost of deploying liquidity pool by 99%. They have flash accounting. They have all these new features in V4, and I do think this does kill off a lot of these newer dexes that trying to compete, these newer finance, especially ambient finance, velodrome, osmosis. I actually don't know too much about osmosis. Osmosis is the Cosmos one, so that's kind of a little bit different story. But I do think this V4 will hurt a lot of these other dexes, especially since they're using Axelar to use cross-chain swaps. I think that will be absolutely massive. So in general, I am pretty bearish all dexes that aren't Uniswap. I should honestly start DCAing to Uniswap. I might put, honestly, I was going to do something else. I'm going to start DCAing into Uniswap as my big cap because there's so much more potential now with this V4 where it literally wrecks all the new innovations, like especially ambient finance. So, and people were super hyped about ambient, about how cheap it is, and now V4 just completely makes it irrelevant. So I am very bullish Uniswap. I do think it has a ton of potential. Let me switch to this from now on. Crypto news. So Litecoin has surged past the $100 mark, rising nearly 34% over the weekend. And the reason why I think this happens is because you have a lot of these normies coming in to buy, and they just hear Bitcoin and Litecoin. Those are like the two big ones. It's Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Bitcoin Cash, like the four big coins that retail loves to talk about. And so you see Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin pump a lot, which is why you sing it here. LVL Finance, so one of my favorite coin picks. Their omni-chain referrals are live. Earn up to 15% referral rewards on both BNB and Arbitrum. Get started. So you can set up a referral link. I will be setting up a referral link for a few of these dexes, by the way. So you can go use them if you want to. I will not be pressuring anybody. I will not be really talking about them. But they're more just something, if you want to go trade on these, look, you have the link right there, as well as you can support the channel. And I would really appreciate that. So that's your heads up. I will go and set this up later. But just something to think about. So I'm going to leave that open also. All right. BetSwirl. Community asked. BetSwirl delivers. 25 million bets burnt. That's 0.32% total supply. Real yield and deflationary power, all with bets. I'm very bullish bets. They're a they're a gambling protocol. I do love them. I do like them a lot. I love gambling. I love on-chain gambling, and I do think it has a lot of potential. They're currently on Polygon. Hopefully they go into Arbitrum soon, but I do think they have a lot of potential. And so some more bets news. ZKSync, something shimmering. So ZKSync obviously have their airdrop. I've been talking about it nonstop the past few weeks, and this looks like a hint towards their airdrop. I don't really know what it is exactly, but it just looks like an interesting hint and a lot of potential with ZKSync. Let me just move this out so I have this later. All right, let's close that. And all right, so let's go into my DCA portfolio. Currently, it is day 27. So right now, I mean, the whole portfolio dumped quite a bit over the last 24 hours. Dumped about 40 from the all-time high. All right, so that was the all-time high. I was just curious. So let's DCA $10 into Bitcoin. So let me switch back into here. All right, so let's DCA $10 in Bitcoin. 3, 4, 3. All right, nah, fuck it. That's too. All right, there we go. There we go. Add transaction. $10 into Ethereum. There we go. All right, now for my big cap pick of the day, it is Uniswap. Remember the Uniswap V4, the spot DEX final boss. I do think it will kill a lot of these new DEX innovations. It has so much potential. So that is my coin pick of the day, my big cap pick of the day. So let's put some Uni. Uniswap is only at 5. Holy shit, that's actually a decent price. There we go. So $10 of Uniswap. And then my micro cap pick of the day. I just want to add more into Premia. It did dump a little bit, so I do want to add more to that position. Now, I don't really advise adding it to losers. I usually advise adding to winners, which is why I have such insane winners up here. But I do want to add some more into Premia. I think this will be a slower coin. This will be the last time I add money to it, but I do want to add. Damn, I can't believe LVL Finance dumped so much. I should buy more. That's my mentality, by the way, a lot of these tokens. Yo, dumped? Buy fucking more. But especially if you believe in the fundamentals. And Level is one of those that fundamentally is a very good coin, and it will have its day. When it has its day, it'll be massive. But it's going to take its time to have its day. It's not going to be like something tomorrow. So yeah, we'll add more to Premia. That's my small cap pick of the day. And yeah, that's about it that I had to talk about for tokens. If you look at Fuddies, Fuddy 4 is still at 74, I believe. So just chilling, chilling. Go get your Fuddy. Pudgy Penguin floor is at whatever it is, 4.15 ETH. You know, just some sideways. Nothing super interesting to talk about when it comes to Pudgy Penguins. Nothing super new. Let's take a look at the calendar. Let's refresh it. See if there's anything upcoming for Pengus. Today is the 5th, yeah. So let's press upcoming specifically. So July 8th, there's a Banana Suit watch party, and then Comic Con San Diego, July 20th. But other than that, there's nothing super important for Pudgy Penguins. Embersword, welcome to Solarwood. Thinking about settling down, living off the land, the simple life. Now's your chance to take a look at the options, link in the threads. So if you want to look at how the settlements look like, let's take a look. I believe I own a settlement, so let's start from the beginning. Embersword. Settle down in Solarwood. Title, Sir or Lady, regular plot, shared rewards. So I own one of these regular plots. 1x plot multiplier. Settlement plot, Baron, Baroness, shared rewards. Tier 1 buildings. Player quests. 10x plot, oh, settlement plot. Ooh, 10x. Title, Earl or Countess, town, shared rewards. Tier 2 buildings. Town would be sick. I'm curious what the floors are on these. I might look to pick one up. So yeah, so you got these are that's their plot breakdown. Which will you choose? I own like one of the most basic plots. I don't know if I'll really add super much into that position, but something to be aware of. Maybe go cop one. Now that's gaming news. I mean, I kind of gaming and NFTs mixed up today, but I don't really have anything super interesting to talk about, so we'll run through really quickly. Didn't understand how there were infinity colors for set 008 until I went on OpenSea and clicked the image, and again and again and again. Another layer to the infinity set. So basically for the Jack Butcher infinity set 008, if you press on it, it basically changes colors, and I thought this was pretty cool. Open. So very nice job on this Open edition by Jack Butcher. What else? So yeah, I should have went into this one. Oops, for the Open, but it's fine. I'm not gonna talk about Open like that. Crypto news: a group of unhappy all right, wait, let me restart this. Give me a second. Let's set up. Let's get the fucking camera rolling, etc., etc. This is my final article. I'm sorry. I'm just like fucking tweaking. I'm just exhausted. I haven't been sleeping. I've been working on some projects, so I'm just exhausted. All right. A group of unhappy Azuki NFT holders formed the Azuki DAO and demanded a refund of over $38 million from Azuki creator Chibu Labs for scamming holders. So if you don't know, the newest Azuki drop ended up crashing all the Azuki values, and now this group of NFT Azuki holders are now creating the Azuki DAO and are trying to sue. They're actually trying to sue the Azuki team, Chibu Labs, for their money back, for them to either give the 38 million as community rewards or just refund everybody who bought the mint. And honestly, I think you're a complete idiot if you did that. If you bought the mint, look, that is your financial decision. At the end of the day, if you fucked up your financial decisions, you fucked up. That's the whole point of crypto. Take some self responsibility for your mistakes. And I don't think they have a case at all here. And I do think Azuki have plans for that 38 million where they shouldn't give it as community rewards. I think they should just give it. They should just spend it on whatever their anime plans are their anime plans are and whatever else they have. I think that should be the focus. I do think that is a much better focus for the Azuki team. So I think this is a terrible decision by whoever's suing, by these holders, and I think they're complete idiots for doing it. But yeah, that is all for today, I believe. Let's take a look at my noties. Irving retweeted. Thank you, Irving, for the retweet. But yeah, that's about it. I don't really have much else to talk about. Let's get into my face. Let's put on my face. Let's take a look at what Bitcoin's doing right now. Bitcoin, all right, it ended up dropping. So yeah, I was like saying like, look, I would look to short if it would give me that retest. Didn't give me the retest. Looks like we're just gonna go straight down. I'm personally not gonna be taking positions here for now, but overall I'm looking for a short. I'm not looking for a long. But that's just me. That's how I'm playing it. And then I'll look for long later down bottom, which I mentioned. I hope everybody has a fantastic day, a fantastic hump day, Wednesday. Yeah, chilling. I need to do some chilling like a villain. Yeah, four fours in the chat. Yes, sir. Sorry, I just wanted to pull it up. I just think that's hilarious. But yeah, I'm tired for some reason. I'm just drained. I've been doing a lot, and yesterday was a hell of a day, and I'm just getting really drained. But I do want to continue the channel. The growth has been insane. The support has been immaculate. Thank you everybody so much. All my viewers. I don't even know if anybody's viewing this right now. I'm just talking, but it's been vibes. Vibes have been vibes. I do got some shit I want to set up. I'll stop the recording. But yeah, wait, did I put, let me put down my notes. I want to do that, yeah, and then referral. All right, and anything else I want to do? Yeah, I'm probably just gonna spend the rest of the day watching anime. I've been working on a few projects, and I'm like pretty drained. I'm gonna end up editing the clips, uploading them. I'm probably just gonna watch anime. I don't have a lot of clips, to be honest, so it'll be a chill. But yeah, I hope everybody has enjoyed the stream thoroughly, and I will be glad to come back to you another day. I hope everybody has a fantastic week, and don't get absolutely wrecked in the chop right now. But I love you all, and bye bye.